Hey, how's it going, everybody? I have a pretty exciting thing to talk about for y'all today. If you didn't see the news, SunlessCon and Incivic have teamed up to make their own esports org called Rule 1. They put out this in 3 different parts. The first part was SunlessCon made a video talking about his latest post about Bob and the randomness and what that all really meant. We also found out that he teased this in the RLBS tournament, the second one, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So his YouTube video talks about kind of the evolution, how he's one game away from making SSL. And then after all this stuff ends up happening, he goes on like a massive lose streak and then gets kind of this recreation of like Neo from the Matrix. Hopefully you guys are old enough to know what that reference is. And he gets a message being like, hey, there's another way. There's another way to get into the RLCS. You don't have to be a player, to which it then cuts to him in a warehouse. And it ends up showcasing that he is starting an org. So that's the main announcement that was shown in like a couple different ways. And then there was also a social post that says hello world, which also implies kind of like the first like thing you learn how to do in HTML. And it says allow us to introduce ourselves. Rule 1 is an org created by SunlessCon and Incivic. If you guys don't know who Incivic is, he is the founder and the old owner of Sandrock Gaming back when that existed. He's an absolute legend in the scene, provides a lot of funding for a lot of different things, and has done a lot of things to make the MENA region actually have some life to it, and has kind of willed it into power, which I think is absolutely fantastic. And Civic's an absolute legend. You should know him if you don't. He says, while we have ambitious plans for the future, our first mission is very simple: to entertain and serve the Rocket League community. And Sunless has spoken to this. He has stated that the purpose of Rule 1 is to primarily exist within Rocket League for Rocket League creators, editors, managers, designers. It is for the Rocket League community, and that's not going to take away from his main channel. He is still going to continue to post, but Rule 1's purpose as an esports organization is with the primary intention to do something for the Rocket League community. So they put this out and says, hey, we want to compete, and we will compete in the RLCS, and we want to work with the most talented creators, designers, editors, managers, and players in the scene. This is just the beginning. Will you join us? So a lot of excitement in that, but I figured what better way to do this than to sit down and talk with Sunless and actually ask him the hard-hitting questions. What exactly is Rule 1? And we're going to get his answer on what the right one is. We're going to talk about the origin story. We're going to talk about his intentions, all that kind of stuff. So without further ado, an interview with the owner and founder of Rule 1, SunlessCon. Sunless, how you doing, buddy?
Lawler, what's up, man?
Not much. Ready to totally do this recording for the first time now that audio's working.
Definitely for the first time.
Yeah.
Let's run it.
This is not a second take, everybody. Again,
No.
Sunless, crazy stuff. Obviously, the announcement, everything, something you've been sitting on for a really long time. But I personally want to know about like the history of it, how it came to be. The decision to make an esports organization is not an overnight decision for anybody who actually wants to do it successfully. I'm sure some people have thought of it overnight, but that's not a good idea. So in your
I feel like
words,
Civic would.
God, true,
That's how
true.
SRG started.
Yeah, he's a different breed. He's a different breed.
Yeah,
Even,
he
but,
is.
in your words, like if you want to take me through like the history of like how Rule 1 came to be, if you've got any like cheeky names, because Rule 1 probably wasn't the first option, but how you guys decided, what the theory was, like you had an epiphany one day and you're like, I want to make an esports org, or was like this is something that's been slowly churning inside of you? Like, how did we get here?
Yeah, definitely a slow churning and definitely fermenting in my mind over the years, because I had the idea years ago, but nothing more than just like that would be cool to have our own team. I think my original idea was, what if we took all the largest creators and we all made an org together? But, we're all on orgs, at the time. Like this was several years ago. Actually, it was before I was even on SSG, but people started to sign as the scene grew. Musty went on NRG. Mertzy and I signed to SSG. Leth eventually signed to SSG.
Here.
She
signed like 7 other creators.
SSG signed a lot of creators.
Yeah.
And that was great, because that was really just an idea, a dream, nothing more than that. But I had always, any dream I have like that, I talked to my manager about, Connor at Clover Talent.
Sure.
So that was a conversation that we had definitely had over the years several times. Like, wouldn't this be great? And he loved the idea too, and he was like, yeah, that would be awesome. But it didn't really progress more than that. And then really the key, of course, was just my relationship with Civic. So meeting him through the SRG documentary I did, I came to realize, well, I just got to know him really.
Right.
And
he, like you and I have talked about it as well. Like he is a very quiet guy and kept to himself for a lot of reasons that we don't need to go into. But as a person, like just wildly experienced and intelligent, and like he's not that old of a he's a pretty
he's younger than me
in my perspective, right?
Yeah, he's younger than me.
Most people in the scene are younger than me, so that hurts a little bit. But we'll go past that.
Yeah, I'm getting up there too, actually. So it's not saying that much. But yeah, he's a young guy, and he's incredibly talented, incredibly great with people, displays rare leadership qualities for sure. And you can see that right away as soon as you talk to him. It's very obvious. So that interview with him, just the things he would say, was just so perfect. As someone that also interviews people, I'm sure you know that when you interview someone that knows what they're talking about, it's just different. So I knew right away this is a really amazing person. But he had SRG. I never really put that together at the time that like, oh, this would be a good business partner at all. Like I was just like, oh, this guy's amazing. I'm an SRG fan, all that stuff. But then, so when they broke up, then when it kind of fell apart, when he stepped down as the CEO, I don't know why I did this, because now it seems a little insensitive, or could have been, it could have came across as a little insensitive. But like as soon as I saw that, I DM'd him like, look, are you still, this sucks.
Sunless out here with his they broke him up arc. Like he's just like, all right, Sandrock's gone. I'm here.
I was on it. It's like a fly buzzing around, waiting on jumping in. But I was kind of curious what happened as well. I was like, this is kind of weird, because it came so out of the blue to a lot of people. And I think I want to tell that story someday. I think we'll probably, maybe it's from Rule 1 or maybe it's from Sunless Con, but I think it's Civic. Yeah, it's content there. I think it's Civic would be down to tell, why it fell apart. But anyway, no beef or hard feelings there from him at all, because that's not the type of person he is. But anyway, I DM'd him. I was like, yo, saw this broke apart. I'm thinking of, I've always dreamed of building something. Would you be interested in building something with me? And he just said yes right away. Like it was not even didn't even hesitate. He was like, oh yeah, we should do that. Actually, what's really funny, he was like, oh, you can just have SRGs, when he said. I was like, bro, no.
I own this, you own this. Like
he thought about that later. That's actually probably not a great idea. So obviously that didn't work out, because that was just funny. But that shows who Civic is. He was just like, you can have it, bro. But so he was very down, so so then I went to Connor and I was like, Civic said he's interested in this. Will you help me put together something that we can present to him? Because I didn't know Civic that well at this point still. Sure. It was just an interview, a couple conversations, DMs. So Connor, then with his experience, he was actually the first guy that signed me originally, because I was on Team Allegiance as a content creator back in like 2018.
Long time ago. I remember running into you in like PAX when it was like you and like Floomp and like you guys walked over and like, I recognize that voice. And you're like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, casting PUBG. Like, what are you guys doing here?
That's right.
Long. Yeah. Like, that was like 2017, I think.
It was a long time ago.
In like Boston, maybe?
It was Boston. Yeah, it was PAX East. Oh no, it was Seattle. You're right. It was Seattle, PAX West.
One of those, man. Long time ago.
It was PAX West.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Connor was the one that originally signed me. Like we had that relationship. Now, as he launched Clover Talent a few years ago after Allegiance shuttered from. Who owned Optic again? What was that all again?
X and all them, and like
but it was like a company. It was a conglomerate. Whatever. They shuttered a bunch of stuff, and Allegiance was one of them. What was it?
I can't remember.
It was some like gaming sounding org. Anyway.
Team gaming org. Perfect.
Some gaming conglomerate that owned Optic and a bunch of stuff, and Allegiance was under that. Anyway, so Allegiance shut down, and so Connor started Clover Talent. I was his first client because he was, we had the relationship from him signing me. So I immediately went to Connor. I was like, can you help me, just like structure this in a way that we could present it to Civic? Because I knew right away if we were going to do this, it wasn't going to be, just a couple of bros making an esports org. Like it needed to be serious.
Mhm.
And that's exactly what we are. Like, we're not messing around. We're a legitimate company with legitimate structure and real stuff behind it. And I knew I needed that real stuff. I needed people that were experienced and knew the business side of things that I don't have experience in, because I wasn't gonna be able to do it by myself. So Connor helped me. He put together this great pitch. And Civic loved it, said yes right away at the meeting, like, didn't even think about it. And from there, that was the origins. But from there, it was just refining it. And I say it was just refining it, but it was like months of refinement, because I wanted to make sure to do it right. So I took my time. I did it slow. But that's the way I wanted to do it, and I'm glad I did it that way. Because Civic's a man of action, and he will go right then, right now. Like, he'll follow his heart and he'll just go. So what I brought to it was like, let's figure this out. Let's get it right. And Civic was happy to do that. 'Cause that's kind of another just like glimpse at the way we work together and how it complements so perfectly. So yeah, after that, it was just our next step really was finding the brand. So that was,
Which, again, you guys, I assume, went through some different iterations of what the
yeah,
name is supposed to be. When you guys pitched like the media deck or the proposal to be like, in Civic, we're gonna do this. This is how we would go about doing it. What do you think? I'm sure there wasn't just like team name. Did you guys have any like
yeah,
early names for Rule One?
yeah. We had some lame ones, but one of the better ones we settled on was Reckless Gaming. So that was like that was our early pitch. That was on the deck. It was Reckless Gaming.
Nice.
Because it was like kind of like sounded like Sunless, and it was, we knew we wanted to kind of have a similar brand to my brand. Like, that was going to be the whole, like, that's one of our greatest advantages, of course, is like being a content creator brand.
Right.
Is like,
Right.
you're bringing your community over, and you're also bringing like my experience as a creator and growing a community. It's kind of like an obvious advantage we have.
Look at that. I mean, obviously, my history is esports for the last 7 years. I'm still new to the content side of things, but I've been lucky and blessed to work pretty much every facet, whether it be MC work, hosting, interview, casting, whatever. I've also done production and tournament organizing and admin. Like, I've done just about everything. So when I see, hey, content creator makes organization, I go, are you crazy? Are you out of your mind? Do you know the financial burden that this,
Yeah.
like, my gears start turning, especially after we just heard Charlie from Moist be like, hey man, I'm losing hundreds of thousands of dollars a month running Moist, and my ROI is nothing. It's negative. So I see this from you, Sunless, and I go, okay, he definitely gets a leg up. He gets a little bit of a hurdle that kind of gets overtaken right away because he is the content creator that he is. He does have the ability to go kind of like the 100 Thieves route with Nade Shot and be like, yo, let's focus on merch. Let's build this brand in a sense that people see it for more than just, oh, we are Go Sports team. It is so much more than that. So I guess that's kind of my concern, but also my excitement is like, I know the two brainchilds behind this, and then you include Connor, right, who brings the business savvy and this and that. But like, not to discredit in Civic in any way, a lot of people don't know who he is, what he does, what he truly brings to this process. And then you also have the creativity and the content side and everything else with you. Plus, who knows what it's going to lead to with you as you get more experience with it, you get more exposed to this situation, and like what kind of like mindset you bring into this I guess organization, I guess we should just go with, because that is something that I think is what's really exciting for me is seeing the intentions you have behind what this org is. It is for the Rocket League community. We are trying to, as you stated, how cool would it be to bring a bunch of Rocket League creators or a bunch of people that are endemic to this space together and make an org that is controlled by us. So I guess that excites me. I don't know how much you're willing to divulge for information. I'm sure you need to keep stuff a little bit to the chest, but I guess, is there any things that you plan to do, like specifically right out the gate? I assume merch. I know you guys want to sign an RLCS team. That was kind of the big proposal from what it looked like.
Yeah.
Can you talk about how you guys plan to go about that? Because I know how much these players make. If you're picking a top 5, top 8 team in RLCS, I mean, these buyouts are over 7 figures, and they're not, and the orgs are still turning them down. So
yeah,
diamond in the rough. Where are we going, Sunless? What's the plan?
Yeah. I mean, that was one of our biggest challenges from the get-go, is how are we going to do this, not just from a brand perspective and like running a company, but like how are we going to enter the scene in a way that's we're not just hemorrhaging money from the start. Because a month from launch, I see Charlie saying like, "Oh, I lose like 400K a month on Moist."
And you're like, let's start it now. Like,
yeah, can't wait to get started. But we're not naive to those challenges. We understand those challenges. We're not just like thinking we're going to waltz in here and just take over and make a ton of money. That really can't be your goal in esports, because it's just, and only a few cases though. And that being said, we are really confident in our approach. We are aware of the hurdles we're facing, and in some ways we already solved a lot of them with our plans for the future.
that's cool.
So I'm aware of the challenges, but I'm confident. And the approach we've taken to pursuing a pro team, I think, is very sustainable, and is pretty much exactly what we want. So I'm excited to see where we go with that. To see how everyone reacts to where we go with that.
Any official offers for a team out on the table, or still just kind of treading?
No official announcements or offers that I can disclose, but definitely we are out there. That's another huge advantage we have is our intimate knowledge of the scene. Me personally, not as involved in the goings on of the pro scene. That's an interesting world in itself. I'm sure you're aware.
Yeah.
But we have people.
Yeah.
We have people. We have top men working on it.
Yeah. Well, I'll have my people reach out to your people, and then
let's
they can people together. It'll be great.
We can always use more eyes and ears in the scene, but we have those. We do have eyes and ears in the scene, and we're very aware of what we can do and what's smart to do. And I will also say we are lean. At the same time, we know when we need to spend money, but we're also extremely lean. And that's part of what I bring as a CEO as well. My background of, I don't know, being frugal. We're not stingy, but
no, I think that's important. I'm also very conservative about how I spend my money. It's like,
exactly.
I'm very calculated, and like if I'm making this purchase, it's for these reasons. And you see that even in the content, like in the videos that you make, like there's a very much so calculated decision on how you're gonna go about doing this. So your ROI is positive. So
exactly.
And I know in Civic's like, let's go, let's do the thing. And you're like, whoa. Like, we got to think this out. So, and you said that.
Exactly. Because I don't want to be a company that just blows all its money right away. Like we are being smart with it. And so, that's all I can say. I don't want to part of also kind of my mantra for the company is not to just talk big and then be forced to back it up. I'd rather just show everyone what we're going to do and just lead by action, and everyone is going to be able to see how successful we are. I don't want to just, because anyone could say we're going to be great. We're going to dominate the scene, and we're going to, whatever. But that's why I've kept it really vague, even with our mission statement. Our goal is to serve the Rocket League community, and I know we can do that. We're going to do that. We're going to serve and entertain.
You want to serve the Rocket League community. What does that mean?
Providing excitement. I mean, it's through entertainment. We're gonna compete in RLCS. That's our first thing, is we have a team to focus on. But then after that, I mean, the possibilities are endless. In Civic and I both see the things that orgs have done that are great for the community. V1 is a huge example. All the stuff they've done, the watch parties, you can just tell they care about the community, and I think that's a really important thing that we're going to try to emulate as well. I like what SSG does in a lot of ways. I think they're a great org. I'm friends with the CEO of Space Station, and already he's reached out yo, if you need anything.
Sean is such a sweetheart.
Yeah, Sean's incredible. So both Sean's, Sean Duras and Sean Unit.
Yep.
So we're gonna learn from them in ways, just through observation as a fellow fan in the community. What do I like that they're doing as a Rocket League fan, and then how can we do that at Rule 1? I just want to give the people what they want. I know what I want, and that's how I've built my channel. I know what's exciting, and I know what gets me going, and I just provide that. So that's what Rule 1's going to do. Whether it's events, eventually branching into other games, maybe. But right now, we just want to focus on Rocket League. because that's what I know.
Hey man, makes sense. Now, in your guys' mission statement, you talk about, hey, we want to compete in RLCS and we want to work with the most talented creators, designers,
Yeah.
editors, managers. But like, you guys are obviously very forthcoming with the process that we don't know everything. We need help. We need talented people to make this really work.
Yes. Yes.
So for those that are watching, for those that are tuning in, for those that are being entertained by what this is that you guys are trying to provide, what do you say to the people that are looking to join Rule One? What do you say to the, aspiring creators or the people out there that are like, I really want to work with you guys because I see this as an awesome opportunity and I bring a lot of value? What do you say to those people?
I say go out there and start doing stuff. Start doing stuff. Get involved. Get in the community. Get in the Discord. Show you're a part of it. Show your work. I'm not looking for free work. I'm not saying like, give us stuff for free, but get involved. Like show us what you can do. That's just general advice for building a career. Like you can't just tell people what you're going to do. You have to show people. So what have you done? What does your channel look like? Have you created stuff? Have you built an audience, even a tiny audience? Have you been active? Have you created good things? If you're an artist, like, is your art good? Show us your art, like show us what you can do. So that's what I would say. But then the actual process, of course, we want people to apply. So right now, we are working on an application process so where we can store a database of talent in the community. So, I mean, and I say database, but really it's just like a Google form we're going to make for anyone to apply.
Whether it's a fancy server program or it's a Google database, you're fine.
Database, yeah. It's going to be just an Excel sheet. And then, but it'll be formatted nicely.
It'll look good.
It'll look pretty. We're actually thinking of making that public so that any org or company in the scene will have access to talent that applies, because I think there's so much of that. And we have right now, it's so scattered. Like we got people sending emails, sending us their resumes. We got people in Discord saying, I'm a designer. Here's this. I keep seeing on Twitter all these incredible designs. So right now, it'd be a waste to just be like, how can we organize all this? So I want one place where everyone can submit what they want, and not just their resumes, but like their portfolio, their website, their channel, their art, their,
I'm going to read you a tweet that I saw on my timeline the other day. And I quote, is there a cumulative place where anyone in the RL community can say, I have X skill set, hire me, or you can go to find people to world, or you by searching for a skill? Gonna make one if not. You know who put that out?
Yeah. That would be our the Secretary of Operations at Rule One. Which is exactly the kind of people that I want involved in the org as well. So it's not just about the creatives. It's not that she is a creative, but it's not just about the creators or the influencers. It's also what we want at the org. Maybe even more is the people that are willing to put in the work behind the scenes and get the gratification of building something without needing clout, not needing verification. They need to be paid, of course. We're not going to be that kind of work, by the way. We will pay for our talent, all of our talent. But, and that's important too. Like we want to build careers that people can, be sustained by. We're not just going to be looking to, get the most out of people and paying the least. But we want those people that, don't care about clout. They just want to build something awesome for the scene. And there's lots of people like that out there. And I've met those people over the years, and I've noted it away. Like, okay, this person has it. This person has it. This person has it. So if you want to be involved, then display those attributes. Be that person that I would want to work with.
I think that's a really cool like mentality to have, because there is a lot of people that are chasing for that, and recognizing kind of the hidden gems of the community is something that I'll shout him out, like Chrome. Chrome of SSG is an incredible coach. He doesn't chase the clout. He does his job very well, sets an expectation for his players, and is just a genuinely great person. Really is. Person that I go out of my way with to spend at any LAN, because it's like I only get to see you once every 3-4 months. So let's spend some time together. So those types of people
Yes.
that are really ambitious and driven and can provide that knowledge that you're looking for is I think such a cool approach to it, because the process, and I've literally had this conversation with another corporate exec recently about it takes a village. It takes people that know what their title is, they know what their job description is, and they're going to perform
Yes.
that to the best of their ability, even though they are reliant on other people in this company and they need these other people to do the job well. I'm not going to go and interject myself into that, because I trust them that we as a collective are going to build something awesome. And trying to find those people is not easy. So I
No.
commend you in the fact that you have kind of stored that away in your super high tech, sophisticated database that is not an
Yes.
Excel spreadsheet that is organized and
Yes.
formatted perfectly. But yeah, I think it's again, it seems, and not that I had any doubt, foundationally, the way that you guys are approaching, the way that you're going to go about selecting those people, like, I'm very excited for the future of Roll One. I'm very excited to see what you guys end up doing, because I know the creative mind behind it. I know the business side. I know the people that you already have involved, whether it be your wife, secretary, who is, dude, I don't know how you did it, but like, that girl is insane across the board for her skill set from what
She's
I've seen,
insane.
just like organization purposes, the way that you guys
Yeah,
are
it's
doing
crazy.
like, and that's just one person. Like, plus again, there's a lot of really exciting things I think that you guys have in your future, and I'm excited to sit back and watch and just be like,
Yeah.
damn, Sunless, you did it again. How? Like,
Yeah. Not only her organization, but also just another advisor in the company too.
Yeah.
It's another person that says, you should look at this person. Like, I noticed they put in a lot of work and they don't get much recognition. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I like the way I feel when I talk to that person. Like being in tune with, because it's also not just what you can provide work wise. It's also who you are, the people we want to be involved in Rule One. So just finding good people is a big thing too. And Linnell helps me with that a lot as well. And in Civic, like the three of us are really like, and Connor being an advisor as well. And then there's also, I mean, already there's designers and editors we're working with, because we needed that stuff for launch. So, and a lot of that came from in Civic's experience with SRG. He said, I have an editor, Kai, or a designer, Kai. He made our decal, he made our graphics. I have a social media guy. He helped grow the SRG account. That stuff that's just easier for me now. I don't have to find someone, because I know he already has that. He has someone he trusts. Therefore, I can trust them. So yeah, building a team, it's just fun, but it is hard. Like, we have to find the right people for sure.
anything that starting this that you had no idea was going to happen, or like, is there anything that you're like, man, I plan on doing this thing, but I did not expect to go through this thing? Is there one thing that like stands out that you're just like, I did not expect that I'd be doing this?
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of ups and downs. There's tons of stuff that happened behind the scenes in forming the org, that a lot of expected challenges, but there already are unexpected challenges. Most of the things I honestly foresaw, though. Like,
That's a good sign, I think. That's a good sign.
Yeah. Things that are tough for sure. I mean, it's a lot of it's just the everyday stuff that I don't know, like, you see the formation of a company or an org, and it's the exact same way with content creation. Like, you have an image in your head of like, I'm going to make a video and it'll be XYZ and it'll be awesome. But when you get into it, then everything goes wrong. And so you have to be prepared for that. And that's the same thing with a company. So that's a very similar thing that actually being a content creator and producing my own content. That's the key. Like editing, shooting, writing, and voiceover, all the technical stuff too. Like, being intimately involved in every step of my content has prepared me for running a company more than I thought it would, because I don't have a business background at all. But there's a lot of similar things in there in terms of the challenges that pop up that you're not prepared for, or that you don't plan on happening, because you shouldn't expect shit to go wrong, but it does every time. And so you can't give up. Like, you have to be like, okay, this didn't work out. This didn't work out. This didn't work out. And you have to pivot, and you have to be fast. You can't dwell on it. You can't be like, oh, that's so dang, it didn't work out. Like, you can't do that. You have to just be like, okay, what do we do now? What do we do now? How do we make it the best we can make it, even though that wasn't what we originally planned? And so it's just the everyday stuff like that, where it's like, oh shit, we didn't think about this. Oh, emails, like, just like really basic stuff, but still takes a lot of effort. it just piles up over time and it becomes this huge project. So there's not one thing, but it's just the everyday nitty gritty that I didn't really know until you actually do it.
I'm looking forward to seeing you continue to grow and expand what that is. And I think we can end on, I think that in the statement that you made about, the process of making a video, all the in-betweens, the curation of what you want this final piece to be. So throughout this process, I'm sure there's been some trimming of some things and some things that you've had to withhold or some things that quite couldn't make the announcement. Through that curation process, is there anything you wish you got to talk more about? Anything that you wanted to boast about in Rule 1? Anything that you had to leave out of the announcement that you would like people to know about?
There's definitely like behind the scenes stuff, but I will be talking about that in the future. Like the process of creating the announcement video and like what went into that and what I had to do to get that done. The creation of the brand. That's all stuff I'm definitely gonna like. We'll do stories on that stuff. Like I want to do a video with Zay from the Rule 1 channel where we go through how we came up with the brand, and because that's a huge part of who we are. Immediately is brand is so amazing. I still can't get over it. I look at it every day and I'm just like, that is so sick. I love
the image
that.
with the like 3 cars and the like big text on the back. I'm just like, damn.
Yeah,
all right.
Just I mean, the logo looks great in every form, like the symbol, the typeface, the just everything about it. I just in love with. So we'll be telling those stories for sure. So that stuff will just come out. It'll be out eventually. Through we'll do little pieces on like behind the scenes, how we started this, how we did that, and that'll just be stuff that we'll put out on Twitter or YouTube or just for the fans to kind of see. Like I probably won't do that on my like Sunless Con channel. Because I don't want to be a complete, like, I know not everyone on my channel is interested in esports, so I'm not going to like be shoving that down people's throats. It's like, by the way, rule one. It'll come up naturally because that's what I am doing now. But my content on my channel will stay Rocket League stuff. I'm going to do videos about other pros. Like I'm not just going to do videos about our team. I'm going to keep doing, I'll talk about other orgs. I don't care about like, I don't see like other orgs as competitors. I see it kind of like a game of golf. Like we're all fighting against ourselves to succeed. Now on the pitch, that's a different thing. Like we need to beat other orgs. But in terms of like running the company, I don't like see people as competitors really that much. Maybe I need to be more cutthroat as a CEO, but I don't really care.
Hey man, maybe that openness is what allows those doors to continue to be the way they are. So
yeah.
Hey man, just like Rule 1, I hope you keep up the great work, man. It's exciting to see the way that you've approached this situation and the long process. I'm sure it's a big weight off your chest of being able to finally make this public, and now as we all know, the hard work really begins. So now you're held accountable for the plans you're putting into action. So I'm super excited about it. I appreciate you taking the time to sit down and chat and sharing some of your precious time with me. But
yeah,
man,
no problem.
I'm looking forward to seeing what RLCS and everything the future holds for Rule 1 and whatever the heck the rest of these things are going to be, because knowing you, they're going to be nothing but excellent. So seriously, man, appreciate it. Floor is yours. Anything you want to shout out, any people you want to say thank you to, or anything you want the people to know, by all means.
Yeah, I just want to shout out everyone that's been involved in the org so far. If you're watching this, you know who you are. So I don't the thing about the people that we're working with is they don't care about the clout. Yeah. So you know you are. Thank you for helping us. And I just want to say, we're not messing around. Like this is serious, and we're not just a couple of bros. I'm not gonna talk too much because, like I said, I like to just show people. But I can say we have stuff coming very soon, very soon.
Hey man, I'm looking forward to it. If you guys would also like to pay attention to all this stuff, links to everything that Rule 1 related is going to be in the description down below. Make sure you guys go check that out. Obviously, Sunless, you're probably already subbed to him, but if you're not, like, what are you doing? Easily the best content in all of Rocket League. Well, I'll put that stamp of approval out on it. But seriously, man, keep crushing it. Looking forward to seeing what you guys do over there. And seriously, thanks for taking the time, man. Really excited for Rule 1.
Thank you, man.